This was my first monitor controller. It was $400. It sounds not great. This was my second one. It sounds incredible. $2,500. Very nice. Effectively, they do the exact same thing. The whole point is making it sound like nothing's in the chain. Well, what if we could literally put nothing in the chain for a fraction of the cost? Did you know that subscribing costs you absolutely nothing? It helps the channel apparently a lot. And by the hitting the affiliate link also does way more than you could imagine. Boy, have monitor controllers come a long way. When I got started, the only way to do this was with some kind of hardware piece. The trick was you had either X number of sources that you had to route to a certain number of speakers, or X number of speakers trying to route to whatever number of sources. And the only way to do that was to either get behind your desk and physically unplug stuff and plug it back in wherever you needed, or have a centralized monitor controller. And this was my first one, the PreSonus Monitor Station. Did it sound good? No. Did it work? It did. Actually had a built-in talkback, headphone outputs, routing options out the wazoo, a DIMM, a mono. I said wazoo. I don't think I've ever said that before. It's not a particularly clean monitor control, and it was a little expensive for what it was. Flash forward to when I built my larger studio, had to get something a little bigger. I went with the Dangerous Monitor ST. This is a fantastic monitor controller, but it is incredibly expensive. And for what I use it for, it's really just routing sources. I don't use more than one set of monitors at a time. There have been times where I've had two set up here, but for me, it's a little overkill. But again, it serves a purpose. It's keeping me from going back and rewiring things. It's all right here. I have gain control. I could switch sources. I could switch speakers. I can pick which speaker to solo. I could just listen to my sub if I want, turn my crossover on and off. There's actually even a button. PPI, do you know what that's for? That's the producer pacification indicator. It literally does nothing. That's actually a really nice feature of this, but super expensive. And if you ever try to expand this into something, say that's anything beyond stereo, say you want to go immersive, you want to dip your toes in, you can get add-ons, expansions, and you can get an immersive pack that's really expensive. The other option that didn't exist when I was doing all this side requires us to take a walk. We're here in the second room, and what you probably notice is there's little to no outboard gear in here at all. This is as bare bones of a room as I could build, with the room still sounding really good. So I wanted to figure out a way to do the monitoring in this room that would let me do some flexible things that even I really can't do with a traditional monitor controller, at least one that's not massive. So what we ended up with was using Sphere. This is sponsored by Sweetwater and Ginger Audio. They are paying me to show you around this, but I should say I purchased this and have been using it long before this. I genuinely really like this software. If you're looking for this, or if you decide this isn't for me, I need a monitor controller, well, cool. Go check out Sweetwater, talk to somebody. They'll answer some questions for you and really figure out like what you actually need. If you want to pick up this or anything else, there will be an affiliate link down below. Go check that out and see if this works for you. There are different versions of Sphere, a stereo version and an immersive version. Here's the cool stuff about this and how I have this set up. Take, for example, here, this massive Pro Tools session that we're running. This is both a stereo and an Atmos session happening at the same time. So you can see here, this is my stereo print bus. And over here is what's happening in the Atmos world. Those are happening at the same time. There's a stereo mix happening in real time. There's Atmos. There's fold downs, both Dolby and Apple, my previous stereo mix and a reference file. All of those are playing, and Sphere can catch each one of those via these sources. As you can see, I've got my 714, my Dolby binaural, a 2.0 fold down, a stereo mix, my previous stereo mix if I need to check against a mix note, computer, which is just listening to music or notifications on my computer, and then I have a second sources page, Apple binaural, and then I can pick something else coming into the Auria. My outputs are not nearly as crazy. I have a few down mixes that are built right into Sphere. So if I want to listen to something and have it down mix, I can do that. I have my headphone outputs, a 2.0 dedicated, and then my main, which is 7.1.4 in here, which will automatically go to stereo if I need it to. Part of the cool factor here is it gives you a ton of inputs and outputs right off the bat. Now think about if I'm old. Is saying Soundflower like dating me a little bit here? This is kind of like Soundflower, what it grew up to be. It went to school, it learned how to do its trade really well, and now here we are. Through different busing here and outputs, I can tell Sphere where to look for something. So I have my stereo outputs, Atmos outputs, all of my different monitoring feeds going to Sphere 32 channel monitoring, and it just cascades like that. So now we could go back to Sphere and take a look at how we have all this routed. So it's going to look at Sphere 32 monitor, and you could pick from anywhere on your computer. Like this connects literally everything. So all of my Pro Tools virtual channels are here, Source Nexus is here, anything that has like an audio input or output is here. So I'm basically telling it that, hey, you're going to pick up a 7.1.4 from this section. And there we go. And just like that, I could switch between whatever I want to listen to. If I pull up a reference here, it's got to be Genie in a Bottle, right? So if I want to have Genie in a Bottle playing while my Pro Tools session is running, Sphere is still seeing it. Everything is playing at the same time, and all I have to do, listen to my fold downs, listen to my computer, back to my stereo. So I could switch back and forth from Atmos fold downs, stereo, Dolby binaural, Apple binaural, my previous stereo, and then back to my computer audio. Like it's all right there happening that fast, which is a good time to mention I control all this via a Stream Deck. $140. I picked this one up on Facebook Marketplace for like $20 a couple of years ago. Actually, I didn't even know what I was going to use it for, but this has been like a crazy tool. I have my reference level, so it's going to set the level of speakers to a comfortable listen point. I have my dim function. I can turn everything up and down. I can mute speakers. This is all via Sphere, by the way. So I could solo different things, and you could see it happening on the screen as well, soloing different speakers. So if I want to hear like what this popular mix is doing just in my tops, I can. And it's that easy. Of course, we can click around on the screen as well, but there's just something about having it right here. The functionality built in here is kind of wild. You can also have built-in video chats and stream, which I've been using Listen To and FaceTime for. This has made it super easy to dial in clients, have them right here listen to the session in real time and make fixes, and they can listen to whatever fold down I want them to listen to, if I want them to listen to a fold down. If they have a way to consume the 7.144, they can have that as well. And again, this is in the context of the immersive one. All these same functionality is when it's stereo as well. So the fact that it can do immersive doesn't take away from the fact that it can do all these other things as well. Other things that I haven't even talked about, that you can put effects on anything. Sources, outputs. You could use metering, which I have done. Trying to track down, like say from my computer, if I just want to see what's happening on the LFE, I can literally just put an effect on the LFE. It's kind of bonkers. Let's do Wings, Live and Let Die. You curious what's happening in the LFE channel of this? Here you go. You could see it coming right off of Apple Music. Getting real-time feedback what's happening on a single channel or a single speaker even will help you learn something pretty fast. And again, you could do this in the stereo context, right? Right? Say you want room correction on whatever you're doing. Well, everything's built in here for you. If you need to do any bass management, it's all built right in here. You can put individual effects on each one of your outputs if you need to, allowing you to time tune each individual speaker if you need to right here in the software. That saves a ton of money right there, just in other software that you would need to time and tune. I'm saying it's all right here, okay? I'm using like 1% of this, and I think I should say I paid for this. I bought it. I owned it for, what was it, like 5 or 6 months? And then I wanted to reach out and see if they want to do a video together, because that's how much I like this. And I want to actually incorporate it into my other room and get another Stream Deck. That's how much I like what's happening here. I mean, obviously this is just me gushing over this software, but in this case, this is a very affordable way to get into some very pro routing solutions. And let's be real, this wasn't possible even that long ago. Having a hardware monitor controller was almost a necessity because computers didn't have the ability to do this. They just weren't powerful enough. That shows my age. The updates for this have been pretty good. Stability has been great. It's all here. Talkbacks, cues. There's even loudness integration built in here. Loudness is kind of a weird thing in the Atmos world. If you're mixing an album, the whole thing could be averaged to -18. So figuring out song to song how loud something might be is actually a pretty handy tool. What we have here is loudness built right in as the song stops, of course. Thriller, Michael Jackson. Ever wondered how loud that Atmos mix is? Of course, this is me starting in the middle of the song, so these numbers are going to be a little interesting, but we can quickly see how loud this is. The true peak, the short term, integrated, and all this is coming straight off of Apple Music. There's nothing in between, unless I want it in between. In this case, FabFilter to see what is happening. The flexibility has been awesome for me to learn the space, to figure out what's happening in different speakers, to cue in clients on different mixes. It kind of got rid of 3 different softwares for me, as well as a hardware monitor control. I don't need Listen To anymore. This takes care of some of the other routing things and even adds a little more flexibility for what I was using Source Nexus for in the past, and room correction. It's all right here. I'm not using room correction in this room because Gavin took care of that for me.
Okay, Grady's gone. This is a terrible setup. I have never seen anything this poor in my life. I can't believe that I drove an hour to get here.
But if you don't have access to a Gavin Haverstake, one, I feel bad for you, but you have all the tools to do it yourself here. Yeah, I know this is basically me just gushing over a piece of software, which is never popular on YouTube because it seems like you're shilling and maybe, but this is a good way to save a whole lot of money and get crazy flexibility out of the stuff that you are already doing on your computer. And if you're into kind of that minimalist lifestyle, which I am trying, I'm learning, getting there. Don't look at my other room, it's a mess. Having that for a much cheaper price, especially when you're talking in an immersive context. Even stereo, you can save a ton of money on a monitor controller, and everything's built right in here for you. Use a Stream Deck if you want. If you don't like that, a virtual Stream Deck. It's crazy. If you stuck around for this and you're thinking this might not be for you and you want to check out another monitor controller, go check out this one by Radial if you want to actually twist some knobs. See ya. Why don't you click subscribe if you're this close?